Coach Pickles wasn't always like this. This is their sad origin story. Once upon a time, in a world filled with monsters, lived a young blue monster named Coach Pickles. Coach Pickles lived happily with his loving mom and dad monsters, but one tragic day, Coach Pickles' parents met an untimely demise. Alone and heartbroken, Coach Pickles was found by a group of curious scientists. The scientists took Coach Pickles to their laboratory, making him the subject of their research. Word spread among the monster community, and Coach Pickles' friends began to ridicule him. One day, Coach Pickles managed to escape the scientist's grasp. In his escape, he stumbled upon a mysterious substance called givinium in the forest. Desperate for power, Coach Pickles drank the givinium, transforming him into a terrifying monster. Fueled by anger and a desire for revenge, Coach Pickles sought out his former friends. But then he encountered his old buddy, Smiley Miley. Smiley Miley kindness and friendship reminded Coach Pickles of the good inside him. With Smiley Miley help, Coach Pickles chose to let go of his anger and embrace a brighter path. And so, Coach Pickles narrowly avoided becoming a terrible villain, thanks to the unwavering support of his friend, Smiley Miley. This is the story of Coach Pickles, a monster who faced great adversity but ultimately found his way back to the light. Mr. Grimm was not like this. This is the sad origin story. Once upon a time, in the far reaches of the cosmos, there was a small asteroid drifting through the vastness of space. Within this asteroid, there lived a young alien named Mr. Grimm. He was content with his life among the stars, unaware of the world beyond. One fateful day, the asteroid began to fall towards a distant planet called Earth. Mr. Grimm, still young and curious, peered out as his home plummeted through the sky. The asteroid crash landed on the outskirts of a small town. Mr. Grimm, unharmed, emerged from the wreckage, eager to explore this new world. As Mr. Grimm ventured into the town, he observed the people going about their daily lives. He hoped to make friends and learn about this strange new place, but not everyone was welcoming. A homeless person spotted Mr. Grimm and, frightened by his dark alien skin, called him a freak. The other townspeople joined in, laughing at Mr. Grimm. He didn't understand why they were being so cruel, and his heart filled with sadness. With tears streaming down his face, Mr. Grimm fled from the cruel laughter and found refuge in the dark, damp sewers beneath the town. In the depths of the sewers, Mr. Grimm discovered a mysterious acid-green substance called givinium. Hoping it would help him fit in, he drank it without a second thought. The givinium had a terrible effect on Mr. Grimm. He transformed into a monstrous creature filled with rage and a desire for vengeance. The monstrous Mr. Grimm emerged from the sewers, his anger and pain driving him to destroy the very town that had rejected him. The once bustling town now lay in ruins, its people cowering in fear at the sight of the monster they had created. As the dust settled, the monstrous Mr. Grimm stood alone in the wreckage, his heart heavy with the realization of what he had become. And so, the tale of Mr. Grimm serves as a reminder. If we do not accept others for who they are, we may create monsters of our own making. Givinium, a scary story of the origin of the substance from the world of Garten of Banban. In a small, cluttered laboratory, a brilliant but eccentric scientist named Oliver worked tirelessly day and night. Oliver's greatest passion was his animal garden, where he cared for a variety of creatures, including his beloved turtle, Tamataki. One fateful day, Tamataki fell gravely ill, and Oliver searched desperately for a cure to save his cherished companion. Unable to find a solution, Oliver decided to create his own substance, givinium, a glowing, acid, green liquid. Hoping to save Tamataki, Oliver carefully administered a single drop of givinium to the alien turtle. Tamataki lost consciousness, and Oliver, heartbroken, believed his beloved pet had died. But just a few seconds later, Tamataki awoke with a start, her eyes glowing green with the power of givinium. Before Oliver's eyes, Tamataki began to transform into a horrifying monster, her body growing and contorting in unnatural ways. The monstrous Tamataki devoured Oliver in a single bite, her insatiable hunger now focused on the unsuspecting city. Tamataki rampaged through the city, leaving destruction in her wake, and became known as the most dangerous creature on Earth. And so, the invention of the terrible substance givinium led to unimaginable horror and devastation. Banban is a scary origin story. In a world where humans and animals coexist, there's a zoo called Garten of Banban, home to many diverse and unique creatures. One day, a curious, dark-skinned boy named Mickey visits the zoo, eager to explore and learn about the animals. As Mickey wanders through the zoo, he comes across a small, cute black spider named Banban. Mickey, captivated by the little spider, decides to pet it, but Banban, feeling threatened, bites Mickey in defense. In a moment of anger and pain, Mickey swats Banban away, accidentally killing the innocent creature. Unbeknownst to Mickey, Banban's genes enter his bloodstream through the bite, setting off a chain of events that will change his life forever. Feeling angry and upset, Mickey leaves the zoo and heads home. As night falls and rain begins to pour, Mickey starts to feel unwell. Mickey's condition worsens, and he collapses on the sidewalk, his body beginning to transform. As the transformation completes, Mickey has become a horrifying monster, Banban, a black creature with 6 purple tentacles, white eyes, and a sinister smile. Enraged and fueled by destruction, Banban begins to wreak havoc on the town, teleporting and annihilating everything in its path. As Banban continues its rampage, the world descends into chaos, and humanity faces the consequences of Mickey's action. And so, the story of Mickey and Banban comes to a tragic end. If only Mickey had shown kindness to the spider, none of this would have come to pass. Opila Bird wasn't always like this. This is a really scary origin story. In a small, quiet town, there lived a brilliant scientist named Henry. He was working on a top-secret project in his laboratory, developing an acid-green liquid called givinium. Givinium was designed to improve the relationship between animals and children, allowing them to understand each other. Henry believed this invention would change the world for the better. One evening, Henry returned home from work, greeted by his loving wife and their curious son, Mike. Mike had a unique pet, a pink bird named Opila, who was always by his side. As night fell, Mike went to bed, and his parents tucked him in, giving him a goodnight kiss. Before leaving his room, Mike asked his father if he could visit the lab with him the next day. Henry agreed, seeing the excitement in his son's eyes. The following morning, Henry and Mike headed to the lab with Opila perched on Mike's shoulder. Upon arriving, Henry showed Mike the givinium and explained its purpose. Mike, thrilled by the idea, suggested they test the givinium on Opila. Henry hesitated, but eventually agreed, hoping to prove the substance's effectiveness. They carefully administered the acid-green givinium to Opila. Almost immediately, the bird began to lose consciousness, and its small body went limp. Heartbroken, Mike and Henry mourned the loss of their beloved pet. But just as they were coming to terms with Opila's death, something unexpected happened. Opila's bloodshot eyes snapped open, and the bird suddenly attacked Mike and Henry, its beak and claws tearing into them mercilessly. The monstrous Opila then grabbed the entire jar of givinium and drank it down, its body beginning to grow and transform into a terrifying creature. The mutated Opila, now a horrifying monster, destroyed the laboratory in a fit of rage, its once beautiful feathers now a mangled mess of acid, green and pink. The destruction didn't stop there. The monstrous Opila rampaged through the town, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. As the town lay in ruins, the terrifying tale of Opila the bird came to a tragic end. The givinium experiment, meant to bring understanding and harmony, had instead unleashed a nightmare upon the world. And so, the story of the givinium experiment serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us that even the best intentions can have unintended and disastrous consequences. This is a really creepy origin story of the Nighty Boo. In a dark and mysterious cave lived a unique green bat named Nighty Boo. Nighty Boo was different from the rest, and some of the other bats didn't like that. Feeling hurt and alone, Nighty Boo decided to leave the cave. Nighty Boo stumbled upon the ancient hut of the witch Agatha. Agatha, an old and wise witch, noticed Nighty Boo hiding under the shelves. Nighty Boo told Agatha everything that had happened. Agatha decided to give Nighty Boo the ancient elixir of power and strength, givinium. After drinking the givinium, Nighty Boo began to grow rapidly. With newfound strength, Nighty Boo returned to her home. The other bats, terrified of Nighty Boo's transformation, fled into the cave. Nighty Boo caught up with the offending bats and crushed them. In her anger, Nighty Boo destroyed the entire cave and the surrounding forest. The story of Nighty Boo serves as a reminder to be kind to others, for even the smallest act of cruelty can lead to great destruction. This is a really creepy origin story of the Stinger Flynn. In the vast ocean, a small orange squid named Stinger Flynn is swimming happily, searching for friends. Above the water, a huge ship of scientists sails, carrying containers filled with a mysterious green liquid called givinium. Suddenly, the weather takes a turn for the worse as a storm begins to brew. The ship capsizes and crashes, releasing the givinium into the ocean. Unaware of the danger, Stinger Flynn swims near the givinium, and particles of the substance enter his bloodstream. As Stinger Flynn continues to swim, he begins to feel worse and worse. His body grows rapidly and his anger builds up until he loses consciousness and sinks to the ocean floor. Suddenly, Stinger Flynn's eyes snap open, and he races through the ocean, devouring everything in his path. Stinger Flynn discovers a large underwater gate leading to a secret laboratory. With a single, powerful strike, Stinger Flynn breaks through the gate and enters the laboratory. Inside the laboratory, Stinger Flynn encounters scientists in white coats and tries to escape, but is subdued by tranquilizer darts. Stinger Flynn awakens to find himself trapped in a massive aquarium, surrounded by scientists studying him. And so, Stinger Flynn becomes a prisoner, subjected to experiments by the very scientists who unleashed the givinium upon the world. In the end, Stinger Flynn's story serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of tampering with nature and the consequences of our actions. This is a really creepy origin story of the Patched Willy. In a serene and tranquil forest, a majestic centennial tree stands tall and proud, a testament to the passage of time. Within this lush environment, we meet Patched Willy, a truly unique and fascinating purple-green worm. This peculiar creature is adorned with numerous eyes scattered across his body, making him quite a sight to behold. Patched Willy leads a rather simple and unassuming life, sustaining himself on a diet of tree bark and fallen apples that litter the forest floor. His days are spent in relative peace, but his life is about to take an unexpected turn. One fateful night, as Patched Willy makes his way back to his humble treehouse abode, he encounters a horrifying and terrifying creature known as Nighty Boo. Fearful for his life, Patched Willy pleads and begs for mercy. But the sinister Nighty Boo pays no heed to his cries and carries him away into the dark and foreboding night. Hours later, after what feels like an eternity of terror, Nighty Boo finally releases Patched Willy from his grasp, sending him plummeting towards the ground below. Miraculously, by a stroke of sheer luck, Patched Willy lands in the welcoming waters of a lake, saving his life from certain doom. Drenched, heartbroken, and utterly lost, Patched Willy musters the strength to crawl through the dark and terrifying forest, desperately seeking solace and safety. His journey eventually leads him to the Addams family home, a beacon of light and hope amidst the shadows. Seeking warmth and shelter from the harsh wilderness, Patched Willy sneaks into the house through an open window, unnoticed by its inhabitants. He finds a cozy spot next to the radiator and, exhausted from his ordeal, falls into a deep and restful sleep. The next morning, Patched Willy awakens to the sound of loud and piercing screams. To his shock and horror, he discovers that he has grown 100 times his previous size. Overwhelmed by fear and confusion, Patched Willy succumbs to his primal instincts and devours the entire Addams family. The police soon arrive at the scene, alerted by the commotion and chaos. In a panic, Patched Willy burrows deep underground, inadvertently tearing the house apart in his haste to escape. Now a fugitive, Patched Willy hides from the world, yearning for love and understanding, but finding only rejection and fear. Spurned by humanity and left with no other choice, Patched Willy transforms into a terrifying monster, hell-bent on destruction. He begins to lay waste to cities, obliterating infrastructure and growing in size until he is nearly as large as a 10-story building. Is it right for Patched Willy to have become this monstrous creature? He didn't want this life. It was a cruel twist of fate that led him down this dark and destructive path. The tale of Patched Willy serves as a haunting reminder of the power of circumstance and the potential for tragedy to befall even the most innocent of beings.